the November regular Board of Directors meeting. Appreciate you being here. I see some new faces. That's always a good thing. So glad to have y'all today. Got some members of our management team in the back, and that's nice to have as well. Thank you. And I should wish everybody a Happy New Year. We've just started a new year, a new fiscal year, earlier this week. And our staff and Janice and her group are busy closing out the year for the previous year and loading in new information on the budgets that's already been approved. So this is an important time for the association. By the way, on the budget, you can always refer to that by going to our website and select either a pull-down menu that's labeled Owners Association, and you can get to the budgets that way, or you can click on a budget and financials window on our website, and then you can follow the progress as we go throughout the year. If you're interested, you can tab over to that at any time, and it'll always give you the most current financial information that we have and our comparison to budgets as we go throughout the year. Something else that's new is we're having potentially two additional meetings conducted by the Activity and Wellness Center Subcommittee. They conducted one last week and did an excellent job of presenting information, answering questions. So I would encourage anyone else that did not have a chance to go to that first meeting to mark it on your calendar and I don't have the date yet, but there will be one in January and potentially another one in February.
Mr. President, I think that's January 24th. Is that correct, Keith? Pretty sure.
That's correct. January 24th.
January 24th is the meeting date for the second Activity and Wellness Center Subcommittee addressing the Activity and Wellness Center. So I would encourage you to go to that. It's well worthwhile. It gives you an opportunity to be an informed voter when you cast a ballot in the spring as to whether or not you want to approve or disapprove that new amenity. In addition to that two town hall meetings, the Communications Committee has embarked on a analysis and plan to have another town hall meeting either in January or February. I don't think that date has been selected as yet. But it's going to be a broader meeting that's open to any question, not just limited to the one subject matter like the first two are. But it'll be any question that's on the minds of the members. We plan to follow a normal monthly board meeting to go right into that town hall meeting, and we're changing the board. We are going to attempt to change the board meeting time slightly by delaying it for another hour or so at our normal time, and maybe start at 5 or 5:30 for our board meeting and just roll right into the town hall meeting. What we're attempting to do is to appeal to the working members in our association that can't make the current time, and we've tried this in the past. It didn't seem to increase attendance that much, but we've seen a pretty substantial change in our demographics to where we have a lot more working people now than what we have had in the past. So that's our plan right now. There will be a lot of additional details to work out before this is actually announced. The Communications Committee is taking the lead on this and putting the program together. So I would encourage you, the Communications Committee, by the way, will be using every type of communication to get the word out to the members when this meeting is going to occur. So look for that in the columns, look for it on the website, on the Facebook page that we've recently installed, and any other medium that the Communication Committee comes up with. So I'd encourage you to look for that and plan to attend if at all possible. At that meeting, by the way, there will be time for questions that have been sent in advance to the Communication Committee, as well as questions that are brought to the committee by the members attending. That's all the commercial I've got for the Communications Committee and our ongoing attempts to provide more information, more timely information to our membership. So I think now we'll go into the next item on the agenda, which is the open session, where we invite our members if they would like to address the board. We certainly encourage them to do that. Anyone available? Joe? Mr. Hartman, excuse me.
Yes, my name is Joe Hartman, and I live on the 8700 block of Ravenswood. We moved here 4.5 years ago, and at the time, the AT&T coverage was horrible. All right, is that better?
Thank you.
Okay, my voice carries. But anyway, at the time we moved here, there was a discussion about how AT&T and the community were going to improve the cell phone coverage in the area. In the last couple of years, I've heard not a thing about that, whether it just plain died or it was financially impossible to do or what, but the problem is still there. People solve it by buying their own micro centers, but that's not conducive to moving around, because like if you drive through Pecan, 9 times out of 10 you'll end up with no service. So I was just curious if that project has died for whatever reason, and could it be at least explained?
I'll take that. Actually, we were working with Anthony's on that project, and at one point, about a year ago, AT&T let us know that project had been canceled, taken off the table. Last week, we had the opportunity to meet with a new rep from AT&T who's worked with AT&T for 14 years, and she says this is going to, she's going to assist us and take it to the highest levels of the company to try and help us out. So we have a good contact person, and we are working diligently to try to get that cell phone tower in Pecan Plantation.
Thank you very much. Good.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Come right ahead.
Most people know I do this. Well, that guy was tall. I'm Don Crocker, and Doug Smith and I came tonight to thank the board for taking action to something that was becoming a problem. And what we're talking about is the misuse of the carpool lot at the front gate. That carpool lot, that parking lot, which is a carpool lot, has been for the 17 years that I've lived here, had become a East Belknap, Fort Worth on the weekend. Concrete pumper trucks, contractors' trailers, RVs, and we were coming to suggest you get a sign, but then we saw the sign yesterday, so we just want to thank you for doing it. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Crocker. I appreciate that. Does anyone else like to address the board today?
Mr. President, I have just one item on an open thing.
Okay.
Could we have someone from management explain to the members, especially those that have young kids that want to use the park, that were complaining about the stickers, that we are absolutely doing something about that. I mean, I'd like to have something on the record in that regard for whoever knows the most about it.
All right, sir. Michael, would Daniel be the appropriate person to address
Mr.
that?
Van Patten would be the appropriate person. Daniel?
Yes, this year was an exceptionally bad year for the grass burrs, the stickers that we're experiencing in the parks and in some other areas. We are using a product to help control the stickers, and I hope to be able to burn the parks off again this year. We burned them off about 3 years ago, and that helped significantly. So the biggest challenge in the parks with the stickers is the fact that there's no irrigation, so a lot of herbicides don't work well without irrigation. But we are currently actively treating the stickers to the best of our ability.
Question for you. Will that be an ongoing thing? Do you treat it one time and that's it, or do you have to come back and treat them again?
We will treat several times throughout the year. The best time to treat for them is when they first start to sprout, before they actually head with the sticker on them.
Right.
Again, about 4 years ago, prior to burning it off, we actually went out and hand-picked stickers from all of the common areas, and I believe we ended up with close to 90 55-gallon bags full of stickers.
When we did that at Joshua Wade High School back in the 50s, we wrapped the post back around the cross side and dragged the football field between them.
Yeah, we've actually drug the parks with carpet and burlap and different things as well to pick up the stickers. But we did have a good handle on it. This year was just an exceptionally bad year for stickers. They blew up everywhere.
Yeah, I've noticed, I've got a dog that I occasionally walk, and just walking through the neighborhood, especially where lots have been sold apparently but not built on yet, there seem to be a lot more stickers this year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But we will actively continue to pursue the stickers and do our best to eliminate them.
All right, sir.
Thank you,
Anything
Daniel.
else?
Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.
I'll look here. Ms. Brunson, did you get your...
I did. I talked to Joe, and I'll speak with him afterwards. I just had some questions that I couldn't find in the call, so I'll just visit with him. I'm afraid he's going to stick me on his committee, but we'll see.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Hartman, I appreciate you being here and being available to answer questions. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, one other thing here, I'd like to address to Joe. By the way, Joe, I had a hot dog at your marina the other day. It was delicious. It was great.
That's my favorite snack.
Thank you. I like it. Thanks.
Okay, let's just go ahead and move on to the next item on our agenda then, please. And that'll be approval of the minutes for October 6th. 2016, and John Jakeley is our secretary. And John, would you like to make the motion on that?
Yes, Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the October 6, 2016 meeting.
And do I have a second?
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Franson. All of those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. And opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is a discussion of the financials for the month and some on the year-to-date. Mr. Christ, who is our treasurer, I'll turn the floor over to him for that presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will yield the floor to Mr. Bartholomew, who will give us a month-ending report of the month ending September 30th, 2016.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Mr. President, let's go over our financials for the month ending September 30th. Just 1 month left. Actually, we finished it, but we're a month behind on our financials. We're always dragging a month behind. But let's take a look at how we did in September and year-to-date. First of all, operations assessment, we're up to 3,004 members. So that's plus 23 year-to-date. In other words, we have 23 more members than we started the year with. Budget for the whole year is 30, and I already know we're going to end the year at 3,005. So we missed it by 6 members. Predominantly due to the Orchard 12. We thought Orchard 12 would be up and running a little bit. There'd be some houses sold by now, and it's taking a little bit longer than we anticipated. Communications, another good month in communications, $14,000 in ad revenue, $169,000 year-to-date. So you can see year-to-date, $12,000 ahead of our budget in communications. Food and beverage had another good revenue month, $106,000 in revenue. That is all from member dining, a la carte dining. So that's good to see the increase. And $48,000 ahead of our budget year-to-date, and that is all from a la carte or member dining. So that's more members coming in to use our dining facility, and $120,000 over prior year. Golf was right at plan for the month, it's $276. Year-to-date, we're $19,000 ahead of plan due to cart fees, green fees, and pro shop merchandise, and nice weather. If you look at the prior year number, $32,000 ahead of prior year. That can all be attributed to better weather this year. More golfers, more people in the golf shop, increased revenues, of course. Marina hit their plan this month. That's good to see, $26,000 in revenue. Year-to-date, we're just $8,000 behind our plan. That is all due to gasoline sales being a little bit depressed compared to our budget. PPLA and CC, we're still getting a lot of home transfers, resales. We had 21 transfer fees this month, 174 year-to-date. So as far as transfer fees, resales, that's a very strong market. Homes are selling quite quickly in Pecan, which is good. But what we're seeing a slowdown is if you look at roads and grounds, that's where road maintenance fees go. We only had 1 road maintenance fee this month on a plan of 5, and only 1 building permit for $2,000. And year-to-date, we're at 47 road maintenance fees on a plan of 55. So you see we're $21,000 behind our budget in roads and grounds. So good resale market. We need to get the new home starts to increase so that we can hit our budget. And nice month for the inn, $4,000 ahead of their plan. Year-to-date, just $2,200 or $2,900 behind their plan. Security and ATC had a good revenue month, $14,000. $10,000 of that was commercial and member stickers. The rest were traffic fines. And year-to-date, much the same combination of traffic tickets, commercial vehicle stickers, and member stickers. We have a full stables, so we exceeded our plan by $182. And year-to-date, just for the exchanging of horses coming in and out, we have a slight miss to plan there. Strong campground revenue, both for the month and year-to-date, allowed us to exceed the sports and recreation budget. So for the month, total operating revenues, $545,000, $19,000 ahead of our plan, and $6,000 in total revenue, $88,049 ahead of our plan. So really strong revenues, and $196,000 ahead of prior year. Cost of goods sold, our cost of goods sold in food and beverage are a little bit higher. Our revenues were up, but a little bit higher than we'd like to see there, so we're working on that. Obviously, as your revenues goes up, your cost of goods sold goes up. Golf shop for the month, we had good merchandise sales. And year-to-date, we're just behind by about $9,000 on cost of goods sold for much the same reason. Marina, just a small miss to plan, and the cost of goods sold year-to-date from the marina is because the gas sales have been depressed this year, so we have less cost of goods sold because we have less sales. Moving on to our labor, we did spend $2,800 more than our budget this month. A couple of areas, food and beverage, obviously we're a little bit busier, so we had to incur some overtime. We are fully staffed in the kitchen for the first time in many months, so we're going to be working hard to get that overtime reduced. Year to date, we're $29,000 behind our labor plan, predominantly due to overtime and our increased revenue. Marina, small missed a plan of $800 due to our increased business in the marina for both for the month and year to date. Cooking revenue has been really strong in the marina. John down there is doing a great job. Cooking revenues are up considerably over prior year. Roads and grounds, because we don't have a dedicated PAC employee, we are incurring some overtime in roads and grounds. So we had $5,371 ahead, or we spent more than our budget, $12,000 year to date. The addition of our member services manager, Mr. Reed, was not budgeted for, so we have a miss in the end, both for the month and year to date, $4,000 and $19,000 respectively. Security and ACC, due to our extra patrols, we spent $2,600 more this month, $17,000 more year to date. And on labor and security, we spent $38,000 more than last year at this time. The rest of our departments finished ahead of plan, sports and rec, and facilities maintenance. So again, a $2,800 missed to plan for the month, and we spent $21,780 more in our labor budget than we had planned. But on the expense side, we're doing a good job with expense control. Food and beverage, due to the increased business, mainly plastic, paper, and propane, $1,400 missed to plan there. Golf, we did a lot of applications on the golf course, fertilizer applications, acid injection, pest management, and also seed for overseeding of the tee boxes. So it was a month that we spent, but in year to date we spent $9,700 more on the golf course than our budget. Marina, right on plan for the month. Year to date, we did some remodeling down at the marina, and just because of the increased business, we had to spend some more money on supplies down at the marina. Roads and grounds, predominantly repairs, vehicle repairs, and road repair materials. If you notice, Daniel and his crew are doing a lot of patchwork down in Ravenswood, so we spent a lot of money down there, but it's needed, and there's still some work to do down in Ravenswood. But year to date, you can see we spent $12,000 less than our budget in roads and grounds. Right on plan at the end, $2,600 less year to date. Security spent less both for the month and year to date than the budget. Stables is right on plan. Sports and rec is doing well with a $2,100 positive variance for the month and a $13,000 positive variance year to date. And facilities maintenance, we are down to one facilities maintenance employee. We do have one of our employees is on medical leave, so we are struggling a little bit with just one facilities maintenance employee for the whole property. But at any rate, our expenses are down in that department, $3,700 for the month, and right at plan, $858 positive variance. So for the month, we spent $4,800 less than our plan. Year to date, $77,720 less than our expense budget year to date. When that's all rolled up to the net income line, let's take a look at how we did. First of all, down at the bottom, $24,699 on a plan of $16,185. So we had a positive variance of $8,514. A couple of the areas where I've already mentioned, food and beverage, we did have a miss to plan, and year to date we've lost $27,000 in food and beverage. Golf, we talked about the golf course expense, but look, year to date we're still doing fine there. Roads and grounds, because of the labor and the expense, but year to date, $20,000 on roads and grounds. Other than that, all the other departments are finishing ahead of their plan. So year to date, we're at $245,249 positive net income. That is $110,941 ahead of our budget year to date. Taking a look at our operating forecast, of course, this is 12 months of actual, 1 month of forecast, and that is compared to our budget. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see the variance. So our Roads and Grounds Department, when we end the year, will, because of the things I mentioned, have a MISTA plan, but that is obviously Roads and Grounds are extremely critical that we have good roads and that our common areas are taken care of properly. All the other departments where you do not see brackets around them, those are positive variances. So PPOA, PPCC, when the year 63,000, ahead of their plan. Security, 9,800. Communications, you can see what the ad revenue will do for us. As we've mentioned before, the Columns publication is a self-supporting publication. Daryl Davis does a great job, not only selling ads, but putting the magazine together. It's really a quality publication. In food and beverage, we expect about an $18,000 MISTA plan when it's all said and done. The inn, a $25,000 MISTA plan. Member services, about $3,300 positive variance to plan. Stables is also a self-supporting amenity. You can see we'll beat the plan by about $1,600. Remains full with a waiting list, which is good to see. Sports and recreation, $36,000 to the good, or a positive variance. Facilities maintenance and the pro shop will finish about $19,000 ahead of their plan. And we're going to spend $613,000 on the golf course this year. And from what I've been told by a lot of people, the comments that I'm getting, taking a look at the golf course, this is the best conditions that I've seen since I've been here. And we've got a lot of positive comments. Michael Underwood's done a great job. And when we give him the funds to maximize the golf course quality, he has done so. And the marina is going to exceed their plan by about $4,800. So when it's all said and done, we should have about $93,425 in positive net income on a plan of $2,600, positive variance of $90,810.
Michael, can I just make a comment?
Sure.
I want to ask a question and make a comment. A couple things really, I think, stand out here is the marina. The marina is showing a positive instead of a negative income, and that is fantastic because I think that's the first time in quite a while, so I'm really happy for you guys. And also the pro shop and the golf course, they're paying for themselves, so I think that's fantastic. The other thing is food and beverage, while it's still at a net loss of $18,000, historically, what has the net loss typically been?
It's been as high as $100,000 that we've lost, so it's trending in the right direction over the last few years.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the capital expenditure report. It was a very busy year for capital expenditures. Those are the ones that are still in progress. You can read them there. I don't think we need to go through each one of those. Still quite a few projects in the works. The front entrance flower beds, that is obviously still in the works. Rain hit us, and so as soon as the rain stops, we'll finish that project within the next couple weeks. All these projects have been completed.
Michael, can I make a comment?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. We get some questions. People see things like $50,000 for a truck or some of these items that we're purchasing. And I think it's important to understand that we have a process that we take a look at every item, every chair in this room, every table, every piece of china we account for. And we put it on a table that says this will last us 5 years or 10 years or 15 years. And then on that time frame, each year we look at those items and say we can get by another year or it's time to either replace or repair it. So it's not like we just decide, well, we need to buy a new dump truck. We actually have a plan for every single item that we see in this facility. And we break down, we look at it, we figure out what's the lifetime of that particular item, and then we schedule when we replace it. So it's not like we just sat in a room one day and said, okay, let's go buy a new truck, or we have a plan, a schedule for how we do these things.
And oftentimes, at the beginning, we do that at the beginning of every summer. That's the very first thing we do. We do our capital expenditure budget. And oftentimes, if a piece of equipment can last another year, we'll move it out. And sometimes we find out that that piece of equipment needs to be moved up. So it's a living, breathing document that goes out 20 years. It was a project 5 years ago that our staff undertook to inventory, as Mr. Carlin said, every single asset that we have with the association. It was a massive project, but now we have it all in a database, and it's a great working tool to manage our capital expenditures. And of course, there's the final list of what we did this year. Clubhouse void filling, for those of you who may not know, we did have some voids that we found underneath the sidewalk, pretty much surrounding the perimeter of the clubhouse. And that was an example of a capital expenditure that was not budgeted, but we found that we had, when you stick a stick down there, up to 24 inches of just hollow space over the years. And so we had to pump some polyurethane material in there and fix the voids underneath the clubhouse. And we always had a problem with the basement leaking, but we finally fixed that problem. So that's an example of one that we didn't plan originally, but was needed. And so the capital fund as of September 30th, $1.7 million. And let's take a look at how we're going to end the year. Beginning fund balance of 1.7 of the assessments. That's the $8 that all the residents pay every month. Initiation fees, all of our initiation fees go into this account, $678. And now all of our new initiation fees from new members, the 5, the plus 5, will go into a special account to be used for the upkeep and maintenance of new amenities. Interest and other income is high because of the insurance claim that we had for the roofs, so we have to record it as income and then expense it when we got the roofs replaced and our HVAC replaced. So that looks a little skewed. And also, we have a few CDs, and we get a little interest off the CDs in our capital asset reserve fund. And the marina loan receivable is paying back Doc C. So total funding of $1.579 million. Total expenditures, $1.764. Balance ending 10/31, $1.5 million. On to the road and drainage fund. As of September 30th, beginning cash balance of $707. The fund deposits, that's the $19 that all the residents pay each month in your assessments. Fund expenditures for roads and drainage projects, $611, $721 as we at the end of September. And year to date, here's where we see the road and drainage fund to be forecasted. Fund deposits, so that's the yearly amount, $682,000. That's how much money is put into that fund based on 3,000 members every single year. Fund expenditures, we did do a lot of drainage projects this year, $743,000. Expenditures, ending cash balance of $646,429 in our road and drainage budget. And Mr. Treasurer, Mr. President, that concludes my September financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew. I would like to commend Mr. Bartholomew and the whole management team for managing our financial resources so well. And it appears like we're going to finish well ahead of plan. So that's kudos to everyone.
Thank you.
All right, sir. We don't need a motion on the financials, do we? Okay. All right. There is no old business. The new business that we need to conduct today is the approval of the nominating committee for the 2017 election. And I believe last meeting we approved Ms. Franzen as the committee chairman on that, and she's worked very diligently to attract some members that will serve on that committee this year. Do you plan to have make a motion to that effect?
I do. Per Article 6, Section 7 of our bylaws, that establishes a nominating committee every year to help determine or encourage members to run for the board election. It requires us to have 6 members and 1 board member. And so the 6 individuals that have graciously volunteered to be on the committee are Tori Salzman, Sam Watts, Kathleen Robinson, Tom Bazone, Lou Turner, and Carol Cotton. So I would like to move or ask the board for approval of the nominating committee for the 2017 election.
Okay, and you make a motion to that effect?
I move, yes.
And do we have a second to that?
Yes, I'd second that motion.
Mr. Green, thank you very much. Any additional discussions regarding this?
I'll only say one thing. This is going to be a committee that's going to be a really good cross-section of the members here in Pecan. And so they're going to be reaching out to a lot of people that maybe haven't really thought about being on the board. But we're hoping that as many people as that are interested or are interested in finding out more about being on the board will contact someone on that committee, and we will help inform you as much as we can about what it takes to be on the board and the time commitments that are required and the amount of energy it takes to really be a board member for 3 years. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of naming these people to this committee, please raise your right hand. And any disapproval of that? All right, the motion passes. All right, the last item that we have is the management report, and Mr. Bartholomew will present that to us as well.
Thank you, Mr. President. One of Pecan's greatest traditions takes place next Wednesday, the Pecan Plantation Veterans Day Celebration Breakfast. Starting out at 7:45 in the lobby. They'll have pictures. If you have any of your pictures of veterans, we would love to display those in the lobby, so please bring your pictures so we can honor them. Then at 8:15, I'll call the colors. This year the MC is board member John Jakely, Colonel, U.S. Air Force retired, will be the MC of the event. After that, the colors are presented. Then we'll have a formation flyover like we do every year with the Bonanza pilots, led by our very own Dick Kite, who is the lead and coordinator. Also, Ray Lewis, Damon Berry, and Bob Butt will be the 3 other pilots. So if you've never seen that, that is really a sight to see. The flag detail will be by the Granbury High School and Marine Corps Junior ROTC. They do that every year. It's really a great honor for them and for us. We'll come back in the ballroom and be entertained once again by the judge and the jury, Judge Walton and his group returns to honor each branch of the military. So that's always a very moving part of the ceremony when they play the songs of each branch of the military, and those who served in those branches have a chance to be recognized. Then we'll have a call to breakfast, and finally we'll have our speaker, Keith L. Thorogood, will be our speaker this year. So reservations are required, and please, if you've never attended that event, it's one not to miss. In your columns this month, you may have noticed a House and Food and Beverage Committee Food and Beverage questionnaire. Also, this afternoon, the Food and Beverage Committee stuffed a lot of envelopes to put in each member's statement. So you also have another opportunity. If you did not see it in the columns, you'll be getting it in the mail in the next couple days. There are drop boxes located here at the clubhouse, down in the pro shop, and also at the PAC. And we're going to use your comments and suggestions to improve our food and beverage operation and meet the needs of our membership. So if you have time, please fill out the survey. We're hoping for a large turnout of at least 1,000 of those surveys returned. Another tradition we have, the Pecan Plantation Women's Club Thanksgiving Casserole and Bake Sale. That's on Saturday, November 19th, 10 a.m. at the PAC. Come purchase cakes, pies, casseroles, and many other items. That's a fundraising event, and for those of you who don't know, the Pecan Plantation Women's Club donates a lot of money every year to area charities, and so that's a great group, a great fundraiser, and if you can support that, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. One of our busier events is our annual Thanksgiving feast that takes place on, obviously, Thursday, November 24th. Seating's around a half hour, starting at 11 o'clock until 2 p.m. We have a wide variety of all of your traditional favorites, including ham, turkey, pies, sides, just about everything you can think of. If you'd rather cook at home or actually have us cook and pick it up, we do have Thanksgiving to go also. Whole hams and turkeys are available, along with sides and pies. Please call the clubhouse reception desk to order those. Orders must be placed by November 20th and picked up by the 23rd at 3 o'clock. Just a couple of save the dates over the holidays. We have a lot of great holiday events coming up, so I just want to name those. Maybe you could put those on your calendar. Pecan Plantation Volunteer Fire Department EMS also has a auxiliary bake sale on December the 3rd. This year we're doing selfies with Santa in the lobby on December 4th. Great opportunity for your kids or grandkids to get their picture made with Santa, or you can take your picture with Santa and send it out. Christmas Tour of Homes, if you've never been on that is a great event. Some of our residents go all out decorating their homes, and that's coordinated with either a brunch option or a dinner option, and that event always sells out, and that is on the 8th of December. Toys for Tots golf tournament. We always fill the bins up every year. That's on the 10th of December, sponsored by the MGA. And something that we started a few years ago that has grown exponentially is our Member Christmas Social. If you haven't been to one of those, that's the time where we give a little bit back to the community. Wristbands are only $15 if purchased in advance. You'll find food stations located throughout the facility, starting out with caroling in this room first, and then you'll be entertained by a band later on in the evening on that night. Also coincides with a golf shop balloon sale. You can get discounts up to one free balloon, starting out at 35%, and that will be down in the pro shop. So a wide variety of events for you and your family to attend, and I hope you can do so during the holidays. And I want to wish everybody a very happy and merry holiday season. Mr. President, that concludes my management report.
Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew. We've mentioned a number of board members that are participating in various committees and responsibilities. I would like to mention that our first-year board members have volunteered to do a lot of the evaluations and of decorations and Halloween parties and that sort of thing. I will now recognize the new members who will be judging the Christmas decorations this year. So they've very generously volunteered their time. Miss Franson, I believe you're one of the new ones, right? And Mr. Cote, nice to have you. We appreciate that. And our other member, Doug, thank you again. We appreciate it very much. That's good. That's the
Mr. President, does that go by, the new guys, does that go by seniority? I mean, years of service? Does that count?
It goes by age.
Oh, okay.
By age.
Because, both of us have the seniority.
Yeah.
We'll make him drive.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, there you go.
Okay. That's the agenda for our meeting today. We, again, appreciate the people that have joined us here in the audience. We appreciate the work of the board, and thank you very much for being here. This meeting is adjourned.